Lewis slowly walked over to the crashed drone, known as a Shredhawk, originally designed to neutralize pterosaurs and keep them from escaping into topside, but now being utilized as a communications relay system so teams of operators could communicate with Flipside Base of Operations, or Flipside BOP, while out on patrol. Or that was the theory. Flipside and topside. They occupied the same physical space, but totally different times. Topside was 2046, a future where time bubbles appeared and the land flipped over to reveal a peek into 100 square miles of a prehistoric lost world that shouldn't exist in 2046. A prehistoric lost world known as Flipside. The late Cretaceous period. That was the time and space that Lewis was standing in. Frustrated that one of the 4 drones that had been following her recon team had given up the ghost and crashed into the ground in a highly unceremonious crunch of metal alloy and failing technology. Sparks from the downed Shredhawk threatened to set the savanna grasses ablaze. Lewis snapped her fingers, and an operator hurried over to spray the drone with a couple bursts of fire suppressant from a small tube on his belt. The sparks died and the grasses quit smoldering. "We're what, 18 clicks from Flipside BOP's former bubble perimeter?" Lewis replied. The time bubble no longer existed, having been collapsed in order to keep topside from being destroyed by the ever-expanding and contracting chaos. No one knew the exact whys or whats of the collapse, only that those Flipside were stuck Flipside until those topside figured out a way to get them back home. Lewis turned in a circle, her eyes scanning the vast fields and low hills of the thigh-high grasses that seemed to go on forever. One day, what would become the Rocky Mountains would border the plains, but that was not this day. Lewis sighed. "You all right, dude?" the voice asked. The voice belonged to Mike DiCenzo, Flipside BOP's head tech. "Everything okay?" "Just sick of this view," Lewis replied. "The Australian BOP was next to a waterfall and a lagoon of crystal water and a rushing river only meters away. Colors, Michael, colors. All this beige is depressing." "We're stuck with the beige for now, Lewis," Mike replied. "Not a lot we can do about it, unless you want to spearhead a wildflower campaign like the Department of Transportation does with highway medians and all that crap." "You know what I mean," Lewis said. "You still reading the other 3 Shredhawks?" Lewis glanced up into the glare of the midday sun and watched as 3 drones circled high above, never straying more than a couple meters from where the team of 4 operators stood. "They're alive and kicking, dude," Mike said. "A little static, as you can hear, but fairly clear considering your distance. Shooting's holding out." "I still don't see why the tech goes haywire Flipside," one of the operators said. He was watching the drones circle as well, then shifted his attention to Lewis. "Don't make much sense." "That Carter?" Mike asked. "Yeah," Carter, the operator, replied. "Last time I explained it, Carter. Next time, you get the dunce hat, dude," Mike said. "All of our tech was developed in the 21st century. The Earth is a much different environment a couple 100 million years from now. Magnetic resonance is different, alignments of the poles is different, and how the sun acts is different." "He's talking sunspots, man," another operator said. "Exactly," Mike said. "The sun here is millions and millions of years younger than our sun. The solar activity is different, which can wreak havoc on tech not built back in this time." "So build some tech in this time," Carter said. "Yes, because that's easy, dude," Mike replied. "I have all the time in the world to devote to inventing completely new technology. It's not like I have an entire base worth of infrastructure to keep an eye on." "Which is why we're testing the shielding," Lewis said, sounding more than exasperated with the subject. "Tech from the 21st is garbage. Tech shielded from the influence of topside is lesser garbage, but still garbage." "I wouldn't call it rubbish, dude," Mike said. "Maybe glitchy, but not garbage. And I thought Aussies say rubbish." "That's Brits, asshole." A loud explosion echoed from above, and one of the drones came spiraling down to the ground in a flaming mess. Parts and bits rained down for a few seconds, forcing the operators to cover their heads with their arms and pause before putting out the drone's flames. Lewis sprayed fire retardant on the downed machine and grimaced. "Garbage, Michael. Garbage. You should have listened to me and stripped them down completely for a full bottoms-up rebuild." "I know the Shredhawks better than you, Lewis," Mike objected. "Now, if you'd brought more of your Australian tech with you, maybe you could work on that. But for now, we aren't stripping everything down to bare bones for full rebuilds. We don't have that kind of time, dude." "Seems to me we got nothing but time," Lewis said.